This is a TaxCast Extra from the Tax Justice Network with me, Naomi Fowler, and Richard Murphy of Tax Research UK. Today our special subject is unitary tax and why it's a good idea. The Tax Justice Network itself is calling for a unitary tax, which would tax companies according to the genuine economic substance of what they do and where they do it. To me, that seems like it's a blindingly obvious good idea. Now, it's based on three things, I believe: physical assets of the company, their workforce, where they're actually based, who they're employing, and their sales and transfers. And the important point, I think, is that it's ignoring all the internal transfers with companies like Starbucks.
Yeah, let's talk about why we need to change the international tax system. Going right back to 1935, when the League of Nations decided on this issue, there were just two choices available. One is what is actually used, which is called arm's length pricing, and the other is called unitary taxation. Now, both are pretty much of a mouthful and say something about accountants' ability to brand a product, which looks to be appalling. But the point about them is that they are very different in the way they work. Arm's length pricing, which is what we've got, assumes that every company within a group is separate and independent and should be taxed as if it is separate and independent. Now, unfortunately, the only reason why the companies are in a group, which is the reality of the situation, is that more profit is made because they are actually under common ownership than would be the case if they were separate and independent. But of course, that excess profit under arm's length pricing rules can't be taxed because the prices charged between each company within the group are adjusted so only the level that would be earned if they were separate and independent is taxed. Therefore, some profit can always, technically at least, float free under the OECD's arm's length pricing method, and that's exactly what, for example, it looks like Starbucks are using to transfer profits into Switzerland on their coffee beans. Now, if that's true, the whole logic of the OECD approach to this problem is fundamentally intellectually flawed, and nothing